although changing the charging port on an iPad takes 45 minutes to an hour, we're going to cover it in 3 minutes. First, you disassemble everything, taking out the charging port. Don't rip those cables on the bottom though. Those cables are pretty delicate when you rip off that tape. Do it on a heating block or a heating pad so you can get that logic board out nicely. Take out the cover and measure up to make sure you got the right one. They are different for the different models. Apply some flux on top of the charging port. Why did Apple connect it to the board like this? I have no idea. Throw it at about 400 degrees. Heat up the board first. This is really fast, but try and heat up the board so the board's very hot before you do this, so you don't break any of those pads off, which I do break off a pad, which you'll notice in a few moments. Clean off all the glue, get some alcohol, wipe it off. So far, no pads broken, looks beautiful, but that'll all change in about a moment here. So throw some leaded solder on top of it, which I went too hot with my soldering iron. Don't make the same mistake I did. I went a little too hot on it. So when I went to go take off that mixture of leaded and unleaded solder, that pin in the lower left came off with it. My fault, being too hot. So I'm going to scrape that off to expose some bare metal. So when I throw some leaded solder on there, it's going to build a nice ball on top of it. It all works out in the end. Throw some flux on top of the pins, and I skipped over the spot where I throw the leaded solder on there because that was pretty easy. Take the new connector and with a very hot soldering iron, throw about 3 to 5 seconds. Let's say 4 seconds would be perfect on each pin. You'll feel it give a little bit when the solder melts. You have to make sure you feel it on every single one. Cut some Captain tape over that so that doesn't make any contact with the chassis once you put everything back together. Reassemble everything. Don't miss any of those connectors. They're small, don't rip them because they're really small, really delicate. Don't forget the charging port screws, the ones that go in vertically. Those are the hardest ones to remember. Route everything nicely. Don't forget to put in the SIM card tray, reconnect the battery, last. Always do the battery last, of course. And last but not least, we put in the screws that hold in the camera, the antenna, blah, 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 everything, camera, all that stuff. So put that all back together, pop on the LCD, plug it in, and if this thing charges, we're good. Nice.